Hey you guys, so I am going to show you how to do I like to call it a 5-minute face. Sometimes it's not exactly a 5-minute face. For me, personally, it takes a little bit longer because I need to fill in my eyebrows. But once my eyebrows are done, then it is a 5-minute face. So in this tutorial, I am going to show you after I put my eyebrows on how I get that 5-minute face. Okay, so you always want to start out with some primer. I'm going to put our Glorious Primer all over your face. The reason that you want to use primer is because it is going to kind of fill in any pores if you have large pores. So it fills it in and it gives your face like a smooth canvas to work on, for the makeup to work on. So you're just going to want to put that all over and kind of pat it in. And then let it dry. And like I mentioned before, I did my eyebrows off camera because my eyebrows are a whole thing. So if you want to see another tutorial for that, you can join my VIB group or go to my my business page, and that is where I have that tutorial. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is just my look, like I said, when I'm trying to like run out and get ready somewhat quickly. So I'm going to use our BB cream. I am the color Honey. And I like to mix in a tiny bit of concealer just to give it a little bit more full coverage, just because I do have a lot of spots on my face and some discoloration. So I am actually mixing Honey with a couple drops of taffeta, and I'm just going to do that on the back of my hand. And the concealer little goes a long way, so I'm actually just going to do like one little drop. I'm going to mix that up on the back of my hand. And then whatever's left on my finger, I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of dab it all over my face. I'm going to take a blending bud, and you want to use this when it is damp. So I'm going to go ahead, and you can either run it under water or just spray it with some rose water. And then I'm just going to go ahead and in like a tapping motion, just blend that out all over my face. So I actually had to go ahead and switch out my sponge. If you noticed before, it said blending bud, and then I realized that I didn't grab. This is actually not our unique one. And I think that my youngest son grabbed mine and was playing with it. And I actually don't have another one, so I didn't want to use one that he had played with because who knows what he did with it. So I am just using another sponge that I own. And so I went ahead, and you also want to make sure that you blend down your neck. And again, the BB cream is not going to give you any type of full coverage, but it is going to help even out your skin tone. And if you do have some blemishes, what I would suggest, and if you want to cover them, is what I would suggest is just putting a tiny, tiny bit of concealer, like that one right there that I have. It's actually a scab. Use a tiny pinpoint of concealer, and you're just going to want to go ahead and cover that up. And I just go ahead and just make sure you pat it, because if I rub it, it's actually going to rub the product away. Okay, so the BB cream is actually going to give you a little bit more of a dewy finish. If you have oily skin, which I do, in the summertime, I definitely have to use powder in my T-zone. In the winter, I'd say probably about halfway through the day, I will have to go ahead and use some powder. So I'm kind of in between colors right now, so I just use our pressed powder in Cashmere and very, very lightly dust it across my T-zone. I'm going to go ahead and use our bronzer now because I just want to warm up my face, and the bronzer, I love it because you can also use it as an eyeshadow. So there's 3 colors. I use the color Hermosa, which is right in the middle. And always tap off the excess, and I'm just going to go ahead and warm up the outer perimeters of my face. Down my neck a little bit. And my cheekbones. I also like to kind of do it on the sides of my nose just for a little bit of extra color. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use a fluffy brush. And I'm just going to use some of the product in the crease of my eyes just to kind of warm it up a little bit. So I'm just going to go back and forth. And curl my lashes. Our precision pencil in the color Perfect. It's black, and I like to go ahead and tightline my eyes. And what you're doing is you're just filling in the space in between your eyelashes, and it's going to make your eyelashes look even fuller than they will with just the mascara on. Now I'm going to use our 3D Fiber Lash Plus that was just reformulated. What I like to do is, because a little goes a long way, so it's better to use a couple thin coats than one thick coat. So I first just like to coat both eyes very, very lightly. Give it a second, and then I'm going to go in and do one eye. I'm going to do the gel and then the fibers, and then go back to the other eye. Now we're going to do the other eye, and the reason that we don't seal it in right away is because we do want to give it a little, a few seconds for the fibers to adhere to the gel. Actually, while I'm waiting, this is a good time to just put some gel on your lower lashes. Some people like to put the fibers on. I do not, but if you want to go ahead and give it a try, you are more than welcome to. Now I'm going to go ahead and start sealing in the fibers. So you want to go back to that first eye. Take your lash comb, which is your best friend. Get your lash comb out, and you are going to want to get any clumps out. If you feel like you need to go back in, what I like to do is just put a little bit of gel only on the tips. Just kind of seal it in one more time. And then I will go back in with the comb one more time just to make sure I don't have any spider lashes. The very last thing for your 5-minute running out the door face is you can just choose either a lip gloss, or what I like is our lip bonbons. They are a tinted lip balm, and they just have a really sheer tint of color. They got vitamin E, jojoba oil. They're awesome. This color that I'm going to use is chocolate truffle. And you are good to go.